Welcome to my co-host, Steve McLeod.
Hey, Bruce, how you doing? It's great to have you here again in the studio. Looking forward to our chat today with our guest, Dwight Hicks. I'll let you share a bit more about that.
Well, we do have the coach of the Northside Wizards Women, and we're going to do a little preview on NBL1 North Women, which starts next week, right?
Yeah, Thursday night, Gold Coast Ipswich, I think.
Great stuff. And we're going to also go into Basketball HQ. But before we get stuck into Almighty Dwighty, I love that name, by the way.
Yeah.
And Dwight Hicks and the Hot Licks. It's great. Absolutely great. Anyway, our sponsors, Brian Curl Basketball, got a host of programs, including the Academy of which moi is a part. But you got the Owls Basketball Club, you got the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island clinics, you got the women's clinics, you got weekend individual skill development stuff, the tour to Taiwan with the Owls. Great program, Brian. Thank you very much. Also to Chris Weir from FIT Education, the RTO on the go, the place to go, another great sponsor. They also look after the kids in the academy getting certificates in health and fitness, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Weary, who, by the way, Steve, wants to on the podcast.
Well,
they're knocking your door down.
I'm starting to run out of room for the bookings. That are people that are coming forward wanting to be on this Australia's #1 basketball podcast. And someone asked me, how did we get voted? Well, I voted on it, and that's why I think we're the #1.
Well, Dwight?
Yeah, definitely #1.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't #1.
That's right.
Exactly.
And also to our good friend Ryan Stolberg from Big Dog Sports.
Stolly.
Building the outdoor courts. Got a huge shortage. And this is where Basketball HQ will be interesting. Big shortage of facilities.
Yes.
BQ, want to do one thing really worthwhile. Why don't you champion getting us some court space?
They should be working
and
on
don't
that.
Don't take that as an insult.
No, that's just what we need. But we've needed that for so long. It's not funny.
Now, Dwight, you use a whiteboard, right?
We got a whiteboard.
Is it a bubble boards?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, there you go. To Matt Shanahan and Bubble Boards, who's jumped on as a sponsor. I know that Brisbane Grammar School's buying a sugar bag of them. But thank you, Maddie, and the invoice will be sent after the first order is received. Okay, so now, Dwight Hicks, let's get into it, and the Hot Licks. Let's get into it. Let's start with your coaching career.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, coached through high school junior kids. Always sort of trying to give back on, what was given to me in the opportunity to play through high school. And then got married not long after getting back from college. And then...
Stop right there. Let's throw the anchor out. College.
Yeah.
That was in the States.
I went to college at Masters. So I was involved with the Bullets program for a couple of years out of high school, and then went to college at Masters. Started teaching coaching, California, NAIA, like high-ranked NAIA school.
Okay.
Really small liberal arts school.
Southern California, Northern California.
So Santa Clarita, so 50 minutes outside of LA if there's no traffic. 4 hours if there is.
Right.
Yeah.
How many years do you do that?
I was only there for just over 12 months.
Yeah,
so
right.
yeah, that was a great experience. And I kind of realized probably I wasn't going to be a teacher. Crazy to think now, you roll all the way back around and I work as a head of basketball at a school now, but hey, I was a builder in construction, so I just thought that was my avenue as an income. After experiencing college and got into that, and then started having a family, and then a couple of years in, got a call up from a mate who'd been involved with a lot with Mick, and got back into coaching.
Michael Downer.
Drop the
names.
Yeah, so Mickey D, and from there, I would say, I realized how much I enjoyed coaching, going away to nationals with the 20s that year. And I've been coaching ever since. So, it's been good. It's been a great journey.
And those early days were with the guys, with men.
Yeah.
But you've evolved into working mostly now with women, correct?
Yeah, look, the reason I coach men was because I got 4 daughters, and I said, I'm never coaching my kids, which you always say. And I tried
You know they say athletes have females.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I was that athletic, but yeah.
Hell, come on.
Yeah,
mate.
I wasn't that bad, I suppose.
The older you haven't learned this yet, Almighty.
Yeah.
The older you get, the better you work.
Yeah. So, I probably tried to steer away from it. I steered my kids away from basketball until my oldest decided she wanted to be a baller. The track and field and a touch kid, and all my other kids sort of followed that suit. And then, from there, they all got into playing again, and I was at Ipswich, again, Stolly, Robbo, all that Junior Bullets crew, they're running around out there, and it's like, hey, Dwight, come around and get fit again. And I ended up driving to Ipswich for a few years, played out there when the league was sort of, dwindling a little bit. I, got the opportunity to run around again and reconnected with Brad, and then was involved with Brad George.
Brad George, yeah.
So involved with then State League for a lot of years at Ipswich. And then we sort of come into COVID, and, everyone sort of took a break for a little bit, and then got the opportunity to go back to Southern Districts, where I was originally a junior. So my playing days started at QE2 on the 8'6" hoops out on the bitumen.
Yes.
If it was that windy, the hoops would blow over and bend, and they'd just push them back up, and you keep playing. So been around Southern Districts for a while. Had a great year there with them, and then had from friends and mates in the game, had the opportunity to go to Northside. So I said I was never going to drive that far, but good people out there convinced me really quickly. And
it's I had 2 daughters, and I coached one of my daughter's teams. She was at Somerville.
Yep.
And I realised that I can't coach women. So without this not being about me, I'd like to hear from you that you're now coaching elite women. Is there a big difference? Because I felt there was, for me, that we have a lot of coaches on this podcast. What's the difference from your perspective?
Honestly, probably ego. Guys who aren't very good think they're good. And generally, women are they're open to continuing to evolve and improve.
Right.
And I feel like you get a connection probably better with them through the relationship of them being able to give them tips that can help them develop their game. And generally they're more structured. So, when you want to actually run something, they'll run it rather than, tell you, but I saw this, so, they don't sort of improvise. They're very good at reading, reacting, but, sometimes you get blessed with that individual player who can go make a play, but a lot of the times, they like to be structured, informed, and with that, I think they prepare themselves better. At the elite level, I think they prepare themselves better.
How many years will this be now?
I mean,
with the Wizards.
This will be my 3rd year.
3rd year. You were not there when they had Tiana, and I can't pronounce her last name.
So Tiana, I had her for 1 game.
Can you pronounce her last name
No.
accurately?
No.
It's a lot
Manakia.
There
Is
you
it
go.
close?
It's close enough
Yeah.
for me, mate, because
Yeah.
I made a mess out of that.
Yeah, I had Tiana just for in the squad the 1 season. She came to me. Trainings are unbelievable. The pace, I love to play at pace. I love to get up and go. I love my teams being in good shape. Tiana came. The trainings were ludicrous. Her first game was against Brisbane. I didn't coach it. I was away at a wedding. My assistant coach, I think she picked up 3 fouls in the first quarter, and she looked at the coach and was like, looked at Troy Hines, who is a great coach. He could head coach in the league. Lucky to have him as an assistant. She said, "Oh, no, I'm good. It's right." And then, she just took over.
She was
over the
like, I
game.
mentioned this last week or the week before, that for one, I'm just so happy to see her back playing.
Great to see her back playing.
Yeah.
Like we got her for one game. Then she came to me and she goes, "I got the opportunity to go to Europe." And I'm like, "Yeah, go." And like I got coaches looking at me like, "You let Tiana, like she's under contract." I'm like, "You got the chance to go and play. Like go and play." I want to see like for me, it's all about seeing the best out of not only your athletes, but opportunity and people.
It's got a contract, but let's be real.
Yeah, you're going to Europe to play. And she's like, "Oh, it's going to be 7 weeks or whatever it was going to be."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, we'll hold the fort down for 7 weeks." And you just say that I think at first, and then you go, "Okay, we're going to be okay for 7 weeks."
7 weeks.
We don't have a point guard, and we just let the point guard. But our young crew held it down, and I think we were sort of holding on to Tiana coming back. So then when Tiana wasn't well and couldn't come back, for some of them that played with her the year before that I wasn't there, that was tough on them. But tougher on her to see her at the peak of her powers, not be able to continue playing. So to see her this season running around is going to be pretty cool.
I reckon, and I said it that because I have real strong memories of Michelle Timms in her heyday, and I thought when I saw her playing, her handles, the pace of play, relentlessness, I thought, God, she reminds me so much of Timsy.
Doesn't care about getting hurt.
No,
like she'll run through a brick wall.
Yeah,
and just play. So.
Well, why don't we now go in, if we can pick your brain?
Yeah.
Let's preview the NBL1 North Women.
I think success in NBL1 North comes from being able to get your squad together as early as possible. So I think like the ones that you think of right now that I know of myself, obviously, is I think Logan have done a really good job getting good locals and being able to get together.
Who's coaching Logan?
Aja is at Logan. So I think they've got some good locals. And they've recruited well. They've had plenty of time together. I think Brad George has done a good job at Ipswich, recruiting what he can, getting back who he wanted, and then having a full recruiting period to recruit. Recruiting in the North this season has been difficult because our season's so short. 14 games compared to 20-something games, and people expecting the same amount of money as you'd get for 22 games. Has made it
let's
a
go
little
back
bit more difficult
there too, and BQ increasing their administration fees.
Yeah,
NBL1 they went from 14 teams to
I don't even know how many teams there is.
I think there's 10.
Yeah,
I think Darwin's out, which they should be, right?
Yeah.
North Gold Coast out again. They were out last year.
They were in last year, out this year.
year. Yeah. One of the Sunshine Coast teams.
And then Rip was out last year.
Rip. And Red City Roar.
Yeah, Red City out the year before.
They were out the year before.
Yeah.
So, one thing that you want a sustainable competition.
Yeah. But I think some of that comes from administration fees. I think some of it comes from us somehow being able to, as coaches, not overpay for players. When you start overpaying, it's not sustainable because someone who shouldn't be getting paid a certain amount of money is getting paid more than they should. Now, I don't know whether
This was just economics.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't keep going like this.
It's a pie, and the AFL pie is massive, but NBL1 women and men pie is not very big.
The marquee player should get paid a certain amount of money, and then it should work its way down from there. It doesn't work like that because the North have to pay more and all those sorts of things. I get all of that, but it does make it tough on the associations when each year it costs more and more to run a competition.
And at the end of the day, as much as I want to see these competitions because it's something it's a stepping stone, it's a juniors watch, and they can say, I aspire to be, in the NBL1. But at the end of the day, associations are responsible for their members.
Absolutely, man.
And if it's costing the association more than they can afford, they shouldn't be doing it. But again, BQ, are you making it possible? Like, is BQ, what's their purpose? To make as much money as they can, or to have as much participation? I hope it's the second.
Well, it's definitely participation, because we have more teams playing in state championships. We have more competitions on the junior level to play in. But on the flip side of more competition means it does mean more money.
Yeah.
So there's a balancing act. But I mean, again,
under 18 Div 5, they're paying money to be a state title.
To do all that, though, we need the facilities, though, to facilitate the participation. So it's again no different to the budget of a NBL1 team, WNBL, NBL, the whole thing. It all comes around to how do we get back to the sustainability side of it, and it comes to how are we looking after the juniors. Everything comes back to, the people who pay the bills, buy the tickets, watch the kids on, watch the players on TV, watch the leagues, whatever it's going to be. How are we looking after them? Are we supplying somewhere for them to be on a Saturday to play that the roof doesn't leak?
Yes.
Or, the games that get called off. Like, my kids played touch football, and I remember being there the first Friday it rained, and I packing my chair up. And they're like, oh, no, we play.
We play.
I'm like, oh, hang on. It's raining. I'm like, we don't play in the rain. I'm going to the car. They're like, put your umbrella up, young buck. Like, we're here all night. Like, yeah. So I think that's where it comes. Like, we need to be able to look after the whole picture rather than just focusing on certain factors. And I know, there's people there who would like to see that happen. Now we just keep navigating how we're going to do that better.
All right, let's keep plowing this field. So last year, Rockhampton won it, beat you guys in the grand final. How are they going to look? They have coaching change.
I think the North this year will be stronger than it has as in across all 4 teams in the North. I think we'll be stronger.
Right.
No idea what Rockhampton will look like. Total change, new team, new coach,
new players.
Yeah, new players. Everyone. I don't know who's left there.
Right.
So Mackay, very similar, all full new team. Unique Thompson, obviously, played down with Albury Bandits. We played in Nationals in 22. Really good player, can score the ball. I think Kayla's going to play for Cairns, so they're going to be pretty good.
George,
I think he's going to play for Cairns.
Any relation to Brad George?
No. And then I think Townsville's got Sam from Rocky. So, and they're sort of building a team around that. So I think those 4 teams will probably it'll be a lot more competitive in that space.
Yeah.
And then as far as recruiting wise and sign, it's been pretty quiet.
Have you got your squad full now?
Yeah, we're pretty much done.
Any of the Froling girls playing in the North?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe so. One is at, get me right, Launceston, one at Bendigo.
Okay.
I think someone will correct me on that, but I think both in the south.
That's an amazing family, the Froling family.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you guys don't forget, if you want to join in, you can hit us up at violations and insults, just as it sounds, at gmail.com. All right. Now, Pirates.
Yeah.
That's where Aja, with her different colored eyes, ran them into the ground. So now she's at Logan. Who's the head coach now at Pirates?
John. So John's there for his second year. John Newley, college coach from Idaho.
Yank?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So I don't know a whole lot about. I know they're locals. I don't know a whole lot about his imports and the couple of players he's brought in. That were the only team we lost to last year. So he has them prepared. They play pretty hard.
So Aja didn't coach. No, she coached the men.
She coached the men.
That's right.
Yeah. So look, I think they'll be well prepared. I think their players, again, have only just come in because all the European leagues are just finishing now. That has been the benefit of the North starting a little later.
Yeah,
is that those European players now haven't missed out on the first 4 weeks of the season.
How do you keep track of who's doing well in all over the world? Because the girls are playing all over the world now. How do you keep track of that?
To try and, I think, continue to build your network. Like you talk to someone and, how are they going? How's that? And you just try and check in that way. But it's totally different now than like back in the day where, you didn't, if someone left Brisbane, you got no idea where they are.
Yeah.
But now, you can look them up. You can, you got a list.
I mean, it's quite
you got
amazing.
a database. Effectively, I know it sounds, we got a database of players, and you just
Start working out what fits
you
with
monitor
you.
how they're going, and they might be at college, and you keep an eye on them at college. Like Lulu Twitter, great season this year at Cal.
Any relation to Izzy Tueta?
No.
And mate, like,
You're
I mean, we obviously.
I'm well connected.
yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, my network's very shallow.
It's like you coach to the players you have in front of you. You do make changes to that, but you must have some sort of coaching philosophy or what you like to play at. What is that?
I mean, straight off the bat is recruit good people. And I think anyone who's spoken to me or I've done anything with them, like that's the first thing. Don't be afraid to make a mistake as a coach. And if you're not good at something, find an assistant or someone who you can lean on who can help you out. I mean, I think too many head coaches think they know everything. Too many administrators think they know everything.
That's always dangerous.
And I think I'm the first to put my hand up and go, hey, I got guys beside me who could coach this team, but together we make a really good team.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part of being a part of a team. But my thing in my teams, we always rebound well. We play at a pretty fast pace. Okay. We always pass the ball. Like if there's someone up in front, it's getting kicked ahead. If there's someone in a better spot, they're getting the shot. We're as a group, we're really unselfish.
I've always admired that in your teams. They play fast and they play smart, and it's like bring them off the and they're right in it. Yeah. I admired that, and as you know, and I have no problem saying it, I tried to recruit you when I was in that role at the Brisbane Capitals. Loyalty.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't strip this man of his loyalty. Let's get back into it.
Caps. They got some good recruits.
Name two.
The two good ones, obviously, Mila and Roof.
But
Roof's recovering at the moment, so whether how much she gets to play, or whether she can get back. Mila's an interesting one because Mila's sort of that one where she's getting the 3-on-3 stuff and the Aussie stuff and all that, and you hope for Brisbane that doesn't interfere too much with her.
What's Mila's full name?
Goodchild or Soa now.
Oh, she got married.
Yeah, got married.
Okay.
So I think.
What position is she? Is she a point guard?
Combo guard.
Okay.
Yeah, plays for Perth.
Right. Okay.
Then I think one of the and again I focus a lot on my team too. One of the Fuller girls come back from college.
Correct.
Yeah. So
I think she was at Davidson.
The older one.
Yep.
Yeah. So they'll do a good job. Caddy's there. And I think they're going to blood some juniors this year, which will be good for them. Get an opportunity.
Yeah.
I think we got them round one. So, but I'll be honest, I haven't even looked at their roster.
Watched them practice Thursday.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any size.
Yeah. I think the whole league will be like that, though. I think league, where you saw in previous years, there was two bigs. The good teams had a couple of bigs.
Yeah.
I think there'll be one on each team, if that.
Roof's a big.
Yeah.
She's a big.
Yeah, but there'll be one. And then that's about, and then, they'll be the backup. So the league has changed a little bit in that space where like Rocky had, Bowman and Spads, it's, two monsters.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a little bit different. But so I don't think there will be a heap of size.
So we share this, Dwight, that I never, when Steve and I were doing QSL, we had our defensive rules. It didn't matter who we played.
Yep.
And it wasn't until we got into the finals, into the semifinals, where I finally looked at tape.
Yep.
Want to know they're out of bounds. What do we do on step up screen? We had our rules, but their personnel, they used a lot of step ups, and so we automatic switch.
Yeah.
That means bigs. You got to sit down and guard a guard, and how we roll over the top and what our wall behind was, and then playing the Seahawks, they had Gurney and Reese Martin.
They were good.
They were good. They were a good team, but Gurney's a little bit older.
Yeah.
So we count the hits.
Yeah.
Don't let him cut without having somebody lay on him. And it adds up. It was the same with Reese, who I love. I had him in the 20
they
team.
were two outstanding players. They were tough to play against.
And what happens a lot of times, Dwight, and Jordan Mullen, I love him, right? Good coach, does a great job. He's trying to resurrect
Seahawks.
Yeah, but he's trying to make that into, Phoenix to fly again. But when you have two players that you count on, whose phone keeps dinging? That must be yours, Stephen.
It is.
Our apologies, listeners. Dwight, will you forgive me?
Oh, I tell you.
Back it up with an insult. You prick. But when you have two guys and that's your team, you expect our scoring to come from those two when you bottle them up. And now somebody with a lesser offensive role has got to step up, particularly in a grand final. Oftentimes that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, that's why I admired your team so much. Now, the other team that I think is loaded up pretty well is Southern District Spartans.
District's got a bit of a squad coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a few players I don't know about.
Who coaches them?
Bradley Can from a coach at North Gold Coast.
Oh.
So he's there. This will be his first year there.
Okay.
Obviously Tiana, Jess
McDowell White.
White, and then Kalani's going back to play. Taylor Simmons, the import they've signed, who I saw this week. And then their locals and
Who's
couple of other recruits.
Who's the tall African descent woman that played with the Pirates? Who Lyndon Briefes is her pimp. He's her agent, and the kid that played for you, the left hand Bowman.
Yep. So
She's a good player.
yeah, she's at
on
Sunshine
Sunny
Coast.
Coast.
Sunny Coast. Great. I think real good opportunity for her up there. I would, you're not saying smaller market, but it's a smaller market as in, appropriate media that suits her. She'll do the newspaper interviews and those sorts of things.
Which don't happen in Brisbane.
It don't happen in Brisbane. And I think she's really good in the junior space coaching wise. So that's a good fit for her. And I know that she wants to stay in Australia. So there were some opportunities to look at permanent residency and those sorts of things.
Who's the big black girl that I was talking about? Athletic.
Is that you're talking Leah? Who played Leah? So she was with us at Southern Districts that year. So she was at Southern Districts, then Southwest, and now she's at Logan.
She's a hired gun.
She can play.
Hence Lyndon.
Yeah, she can play.
She can play.
Yeah, she can play.
Then the agent.
Agent.
That's
and then
right.
Briefes. Yeah, because he looks after. Is it Bowman or
Bowman.
with an L?
Yeah.
Okay, and Leah, what's her last name?
Scott.
Yeah.
That's
he's looking
Steve's boy, Lyndon.
Hey.
That's your boy, Lyndon.
He looks after Steve's interests.
Is he your agent? Is he your agent too, Steve?
Like I'm self-managed.
Yourself.
Anyway, so first game's next weekend. Are you on the first, second, or third?
We are on the Saturday night. So third. I don't
Perfect.
know. Third. Yeah.
Oh, are you playing the Capitals? Because you
playing
guys
the
always
Caps.
helping with the
Yeah.
Caps.
That's that.
Is that up in the Wizard Dome?
That's up there at Wizards.
Okay.
Yeah. So we play them usually first game and last game of the season.
All right.
For the Shield. So it's
The Shield being, please enlighten us, Dwighty.
and this is one of the things where I should have notes for this.
Well, we could have prompted you.
If someone could help me, that would be great.
I mean, Dwight, every person that I organise for the podcast, I send them information.
Yeah, Bruce would have sent that through
Bruce
to me.
was involved.
Yeah,
in
it was
bringing-
your address.
Yeah.
And southwest corner.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
He gave me
The address part of it was good. The questions
You
I could have been better, you mean?
You mean the address that the instructions
That's the one,
I gave
that's
you?
the one.
It did look like it was Steve's text, and he just copy and pasted it into a
There you
message.
go. There you go.
It's been forwarded on many times.
It has been.
You made our 23rd, right on the heels of Sandy Brondello. Man. We got almighty Dwight.
Sandy is the next one that we bring out. We're just waiting on our producer to finish. We did Sandy on Thursday. We've done Michelle Timms, Sandy Brondello, like outstanding female basketball people. I mean, we're talking top of the tree.
Yeah, top of the tree.
We talked to both of them about culture, and we got into a bit about the Opals. Tell me what you do for your team. Like, culture can be the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, look, I think you have to have a nice blend of veterans and young players to get that right. And like I said, good people. And at the NBL1 level, if you get that right, you can be really successful. But if you get that wrong, it's like you almost got to just ride the year out. Like it's and we've had it in other teams back at Ipswich. You know, like Brad and I looked at each other, and it's like we're just going to have to do the best we can with what you know where you're at that time. But I think that's the culture of the team and being able to get everyone walking in the same direction. And I think that comes with communication. If there's clear communication, not only from the coach, but that you make them feel comfortable, the players feel comfortable that they can come back and talk to you. Then you address everything instantly. So I think that the shorter time frame between a problem arising and a problem being solved maintains forward movement. But if you let those problems fester and you can't get on top of them quick, then those problems permeate into bigger problems, which you may not have had before, but players can become highly reactive to.
I think we've always had rules for stuff, and the team collectively takes ownership of that. If we say this is how we go to defend pick and roll, or this is what we're going to do, not only do we as coaches want to hold them accountable, but they need to know amongst themselves how they had that conversation in terms of these are our rules, this is what we've all agreed to do.
I think, and you don't get to a championship if you don't have special people. And one of our things was, and it's from Tom Marr, a group in obviously great physical condition. And those of who have listened to the podcast, I've gotten on a few coaches for being fat asses because I just don't see it. How can you lead a group in obviously great physical condition if you've got titties? If you dress like Demi Roussos.
Did you look at me when you say that?
No, I mean, I just don't like it. You know what I mean?
I think that straight away you're kind of a reprobate because you're saying, I want you to act a certain way, but I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I think that, for us last year, AJ is that person who, and the benefit of our team, and we spoke about this a lot, and I spoke to people about it, is a lot of our team had full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So they're working a full-time job, and they get to training at 6 o'clock. Generally, they've left work at 5.
Yeah.
They're showing up in their work clothes. They're throwing their uniform on, and they step onto the court, and bang, they're at it. And I think when you got people who are prepared to do that, the younger ones don't have a choice but to follow because they're like, we better do that job because, this person's showing up and doing it. Like we had, Woodsy showed up this year. She gets in on a Sunday. Courtney Woods gets here on a Sunday, shows up to training on a Tuesday. Just, I know that Courtney won't like me saying it, but she's just punching people in the face. And it's like, oh, well, hey, that was probably one of our better trainings of the year because everyone had to train harder. And it's like, well, that's what you get when you get people like that, you know. Prior to that, Nadine Payne had been leading the trainings, you know, and I think that's the part of, you know, having those people who are prepared to lead is the difference in.
You mentioned AJ. Who is that?
So AJ Johnson. So she was that's a player that they had played for us at Ipswich, and then has stayed around in Australia, and they chose to step away from basketball while they were just, you know, sorting some things out. And I was blessed enough, not last year, the year before, that they decided to come back and play, and I knew how good they were. I don't know whether they realised how good they were, and we all knew. And we knew they were a good,
you know who that reminds me of?
Kind of player.
When you and Michael Downer, who's coaching in Japan and doing great, had Chris Goulding.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, he was top age under 20. He could have played for Michael and I the year before. Didn't feel he was good enough.
Yeah.
Now you look at him now and you think, when did you find your confidence?
Yeah.
But we took him as a 16-year-old in what used to be the QBL, the NBL1 then.
Yeah.
On our first road trip, we had Cairns. He didn't play in that game. We had Benny Thompson. We had a good team.
Yeah.
But they're all buggered. We're not fit enough to play 2 games back to back. Bubbles comes in against Townsville in a rock fight, gets 16 points, 13 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. As a grade 11 kid.
Correct weight. You know, I mean, he's 16.
Yeah.
And you didn't think you were good enough.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let us decide.
I don't think he's got that problem now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I think that whole team, though, that we selected that next year had a bit of a chip on their shoulder because they'd been overlooked in Aussie squads.
Yeah.
Steve Costanza, Chris Cedar, Bubbles, and then a bunch of kids that just knew how to walk the walk.
Who are your bigs
in that team?
Yeah.
Then we had Costanza, who was from Townsville.
George.
George, yeah.
Yes,
George
Costanza.
Yeah.
Hiding behind under his desk.
Kramer as well.
Big Steve from Townsville, and just a bunch of dudes that wanted to played hard. And,
played hard and played smart.
And we weren't, you know, like that year that I think we did that tour. Remember how Queensland used to do that Victorian tour? Yeah, we went down on that tour with a playbook this thick, and I think we got punched in the face twice. And Mick's like, we're probably going to have to just let them play, hey? I'm like, yeah, maybe. Got to sort of have some rules, but put that aside a little bit. And they come out defensively. It just changed them defensively, and they had a great. Stars kind of aligned. You had 7 great games. Paddy Mills was at that Nationals. That was my first time I got to see him play. I think his first game he had 55. He was But it was a great Nationals. We got to play New South Wales in the final.
And I remember that was the last one for the late great Warren Burgeony.
Yeah,
who was our team manager for those under 20s.
It might have been his second last.
Well, that was in Ballarat.
It was
Bendigo.
Ballarat. I'm thinking
Ballarat.
You know, it may have been.
He was really crook.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Warren was just such a.
He was the manager back.
No, he managed
when
us.
When Mike he'd been around for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I did it the very first time with Van Dandy. We had this heavy set kid. He could play. I want to say Lloyd Lewis.
Yep.
Maybe it was Lewis Lloyd.
Lloyd Lewis.
Timmy Conrad was bottom age. We did well. We finished 4th. But the one thing I remember about Warren, he organized that, and we went on that when we had Baines and Jawway and Reese Martin and Michael Cedar. He was our best player.
Yeah.
Stevie Way, who won the whatever medal because he was at the Institute. It had to be an AIS kid. Yeah. Even though Mike Cedar was by far our best player, but he didn't go to the Institute. And we stepped on everybody, right? But we took our 12 is it 12 or 10 for those tournaments? I think it's 10.
Might have been 10.
But we took another 3 guys, Brad Kelleher, Vanderjack's younger brother, and one other guy. I want to say Broom, but I may be wrong. And we beat all of them.
Yeah.
We played Bendigo at Bendigo. We played Shepparton. Fuck, way out in the country. Melbourne Tigers, Nuttawading Spectres. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. It was great. But, like, we lost all of our pre-games, but the bonding and what we got out of it was pretty special.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, special teams, there's always something special that's going on. I mean, you look at the other end and sometimes you see, the names or people warming up and you're thinking, shit, we got to be in trouble here. And then people just step up to the plate, and that's the beauty of sport. And that's why I love our game, because, you can win one week by 40, and then the next week, if you don't bring the right attitude, you lose.
Well, I think that again, you're asking about championship. I think that's the difference. They don't care who's at the other end, and I sometimes probably can fall into a little bit of that trap because I care probably more about my group than I do because I'm confident in what we're going to do, and
there's not enough games to. Sure, you can know a little bit about your opposition in this sort of NBL1 league and stuff, but it's how you conduct yourself. I mean, you can look at what other people are doing, but it's how it's executed.
Yeah.
And execution is the key.
Absolutely.
We can run a play, same 2 teams run the same play, but which one executes it better will get it.
We were in the last 22 and under World Championships that were played in Argentina. And we had played Greece in practice games in Athens, in Slovenia, in Canada. We beat them every game. They didn't change a thing. We would we'd come out every game, we'd have a new set. Executed poorly. They stayed with their same stuff. They got to the grand final, right? Lost to Lithuania, who were just monsters, mate. They had 6'8" point guard, 2 6'10", 2 and 3, 2 7-foot. But I'm like, man, that's the day you get better at it. You execute better. When you introduce something new the morning of the game, you shouldn't expect that to work well.
Yeah, I kind of get into that. I think sometimes my players you're a bit boring, but I'm like, well, we ran the same play for the first play, I think, the entire season last year. Our on-ball coverage is the same. That's how well if you're going to scout what I do, it's probably pretty easy. Like what we do in round 1 is probably what we're going to do at the end of the season, but hopefully we're doing it better.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I want to know aspirationally. There's talk now of seems like a long way off about getting a WNBL team in Brisbane. Would you have interest in coaching that?
I don't know. I wouldn't have any idea. It feels like it's too far away to even think about it.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I don't know if the Bullets. So now that Kesselman has Kesselman bought the WNBL? Do we know?
Well, he has. He and a couple other people are a part of a
bit of a consortium.
group.
A consortium that's got it. Yeah.
Consortium.
And I think they finally have come out with a players agreement.
Yeah.
In the last 24 hours, I briefly saw something. So
I'd love to see a women's team here, but
I would too.
It's more than just, hey, we get pie in the sky. There's no way the Bullets can afford it.
No, the Bullets can't. And then where do they play?
I think the key, no matter what happened, to get a team here in Brisbane, we go back to virtually where we started talking. Okay, how can we do it sustainably? And what's the most adequate venue? And my thing is I don't believe that bringing a women's team to Brisbane should play second fiddle to the Bullets. It's women's sport.
Yep.
Yeah, so they should stand right beside the Bullets as the premium, like the WAFL does, like the Women's Rugby League does, like that. We, as a league, need to promote it as this is the premium women's competition in Australia, which is producing very good players around the world that are competing for Olympic medals.
Jeez.
And why are we going to? Again, I like the title because I'm going to insult someone, but we're going to downgrade it. We're going to downgrade the women's game by thinking that you can play them before men's games or that sort of no. Yeah, we could do that once or twice as maybe something that's special to town, to Brisbane, to as a big deal, but they should stand alone. They stand on their own 2 feet, and we need to make it sustainable.
Well, let's explore venues.
Yeah.
I mean, because you need a 2,000 seat, right, for the women's league.
But the parents need to support it as well. Like the parent, if you want to see, a pathway for your kids, like you want to see it at that QSL NBL1 level. Now we're talking WNBL. We need to go and watch games. Like don't sit at home. And support it because a lot of us talk about it, but I don't know whether many of us,
Good point, Dwight.
get out there and actually support it.
I support it. I would want to support it, and I know that some people were behind the scenes trying to, hey, good luck. You got an idea. All we need now is $3 million every year, and I go, mate, that ain't gonna cut it. I mean, you think about it, if you don't have your own venue to train, you don't have any office space. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Right? Now you got to get coaching, physio, strength, and you're playing. Yeah. More important than anything, you're playing talent. We got kids here that can And when we go, and Steve and I will be going and watching the NBL1 North, women and men, we got talent.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the most important thing is we have talent. But do we have a desire? Do we really want to have this happening? Now, BQ would because they could see that as a form of revenue.
But it's got to be exterior. It's got to be exterior to them, and separate to it because, again, it's standalone. It's a national league. It's,
it's an obvious that Brisbane should have a team to make that I mean, if you look at Larry and those guys, whoever's part of that consortium,
consortium.
They don't want it to go backwards. They're not investing. Like I think Larry will be a very, what he's done with the NBL.
Look what the NBL is.
Correct.
Say what you want to say. The NBL's in a pretty good spot.
I really hope. I wish there was a team here. We had Rick Lawyer on here the other day, and he's been a big advocate for and coached a lot of women's team at the national level when we had Brisbane team. So he's a bit the same as you. Wants the women's to stand on their own right, and I think never before have we had sport where women are. As you said, you mentioned the rugby league, the union, the AFL, cricket.
No, there's no women's rugby league.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I've missed it.
Yeah. In fact, they're very good.
They're real good.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not rugby? Or is it rugby league?
No. It's
rugby league.
Yeah. It's rugby league. Yeah. Bruce is not a very big rugby league fan, where I am.
Yeah.
But I am a big AFL fan.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Did you ever play AFL?
Well, I taught. So, of course. I was a teacher by trade, yes. When I was down at South Melbourne Tech, I was ruckman, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Talk about rainy days. We're out there. I'm in my car. Hold on, you guys. Kids get warmed up, and I'd come out, and it'd be, raining sideways. And I'd use the indicator, free kick.
Yeah.
Honk, honk, honk. That's a goal. One honk is a behind. You guys were in there wringing wet. All right.
Wow. We were talking about reprobates earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
I want to get on to Dwight's venue that you put at Basketball HQ. I want to talk a bit about that.
Yeah.
Tell us, I mean, I've only known about it the last few weeks. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
Tell us about how that started and what you...
Probably something we wanted to do for a long time, because we realised that a premium training facility, effectively an American style training facility in Australia. They've had them down south. There's a few in Perth now, like that.
So is this part of a chain?
They're no,
This is your own.
standalone. Yeah, standalone. So, we have wanted to do it for a while, but just timing and other work commitments and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then
So your construction company built it?
we did the work within the shed, but the shed was already existing, pre-existing building. And then we, mate of mine, who I coach his kids, I'd spoken about it for a few years, sort of prompted me again, and we decided that, hey, it's go time. Obviously the Olympics coming, obviously the lack of court space, obviously watching all these coaches teach all these individuals to people kind of makes me sick a little bit sometimes, because I'm like, let's do endos and teach them a heap of things that they're never going to do because they can't come to a jump stop.
Mate.
Yeah, like they can't actually catch, or they can't actually pivot properly.
We've spoke about this on previous podcasts, and all these guys doing individuals, they should have some kind of accreditation. I'm just stunned that Basketball Queensland, who's always looking for a dollar, why don't you go out and get something specific for this? And that would be, and I was talking to Curly about this. Brian, if they're not going to do it, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
Offer up an
There's definitely
accreditation.
some people out there doing some really, really good stuff.
Oh, 100%.
But there's a lot of people out there selling false dreams, taking parents' money, and they're actually not giving the kid the best opportunity to be successful because they're not giving them any foundation. So they think if the ball goes in, they're successful, or they think if
they just go online and
the stats are showing on Basketball Connect
Yeah.
that they're okay. It's like it shows points and fouls.
That's it.
Like,
Yeah.
trust me, just because you score a heap of points doesn't always mean you're any good.
No.
So explain the facility. I've not been in there yet, and you were just looking at it before.
it looks
Love
fantastic.
to have you guys over to have a look. Show
that.
you around.
What suburb are we talking?
Tingalpa.
I can still go into
Yep.
Tingalpa.
Tingalpa. Yeah, you're not. They let you in Tingalpa, hey?
So,
Yeah, they got to get
so
some
you're not
security things.
aligned to any association?
Nope. No, so we're standalone. That's the one thing that a lot of people have said, like my club teams, so through the school, play at Southern Districts, so, you aligned with something? No, we're not aligned with Northside. We're not.
Yeah.
Like we got players, NBL1 players from a bunch of associations. We got QSL players from a bunch, and I'll get in there and give them a hand. And, people are like, don't they play for another team? I'm like, but I want that player to be, I want them to, one, get a good experience here, but I want them to be able to improve. Like, that's the goal.
Give us an explanation. How many, is it one court?
We got a full court, so a FIBA-approved full court, 5 shooting lanes, so 5 Dr. Dish shooting lanes. On the full court, we got 4 hoops, and then we got a small.
How high is that roof? Is that 18 meters?
No,
You don't need it for this.
no,
You're not
it's plenty. It's plenty high. Well, not plenty high to play. Like you're not going to hit it if you're shooting. You're going to throw it in the fan if you try and throw a baseball pass from the other thing. But that makes it exciting. That makes it exciting.
I love that.
It really.
So it's a definite training facility.
It's a training sort of, and I've gone with we're trying to educate players first, and not only with that education and training, teach them that success or them actually doing well is not by points, the coach telling them they're good, all these sorts of, you've got to actually be able to get those basics down, and getting yourself or putting yourself in a position to be successful is half the battle sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think not only as a kid, if you learn that as a kid, when you become an adult, there you go. Yep.
I sent that to you.
Yeah. But now that's the thing.
And we have some friends that coach at a pretty high level, and all of them come back and it's about repetition, but it's repetition done at game speed.
Yeah.
And done correctly.
Yeah. And I go in there now, like I'll go in there and get on a gun, or I'll do get on a Dr. Dish shooting machine. And, I'll do a typical warm-up that I would have done, a long time ago. And I'll start on the court, I'm shooting it off the backboard. I might shoot 100 shots. And then I'm shooting shots from 2 steps inside the foul line. And then you see, and I've gone and spoken to the kids. They come in and they're just pinging them up. They're just pinging them up. And I'm like, hey, no. This is not where we do that. If you want to do that, and again, I might, annoy someone, or, that might turn someone away. But I'm like, I don't want you to come here and you be terrible, you not get better. You're supposed to come here and actually get better. You're supposed to come here and have fun, but you're supposed to come here and get better.
So do you have staff there?
Yeah, we got, it's 24-hour facility. So if you're a member, you scan in, but it's staffed during normal business hours. Okay. And then we've got a few coaches.
I saw that Leandro, Simon Taylor's there.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, Simo is a great guy. He's actually coaching with us at the school as well.
Right.
His kids go to
does a lot with the Indigenous community nationally.
He did a camp over there over the holidays. Simo is, as a junior coach, is phenomenal. His ability to get what he wants him to do. I got a video. He's running an under 10s training session. We're talking 6-year-olds, 6 to 8-year-olds. He's got them running a fast break drill where, it comes off the backboard. They're kicking it. They've got to run outside the cones. They're dribbling it, kicking it to a kid, and the kid's making a layup. Full court. And I'm not joking. There's 12 kids, 12 girls. And that's 12 girls, 6 to 8 years old, running this drill. And I'm like, the under 12 boys couldn't do that. But he's got their attention. He's got it, so yeah, I got big props for Simo. So
Leandro Barbosa, he was one of my favorite players. He was an athlete, quiet.
Yeah.
Never showed any emotion. Intense.
I got a good one for you. We have a teachers students game, but it's coaches and staff. And the first year he showed up, he scorched the school kids. I mean, scorched them to the point that they complained to the heads of school. And they tried to change the rules because Leandro scorched them. So the next year, last year when we played them, if any of the kids listen, it's like I had to say to him, okay, we got to keep it close this year. So
play left-handed.
Yeah, can we keep it close? But it was he's still pretty athletic for a guy that's I think he's still running around playing GBL on a Wednesday night.
Athlete. Getting back into this, so it's a membership. It's 24 hours. I can just scan it.
You
lug my own ball in.
Sign up. Basketball sitting there. You just show up with your shoes. Put your shoes on. All the bays. So from size 5 to size 7s. There's a rack full of balls for anything you want to do on the court.
Baskets get down to 8 feet.
Baskets can wound down wherever we got to do, depending on what level we're working with.
Right.
So it's
and our team's training there.
We have had where we try not to train use the full court because we don't want to take away from what the members what they have. If we do have something like that, we just send a message out. Hey, there's a team training from 6 to 7:30 or whatever, so they know. But we say to them, you can book a shooting lane, and you get to use that, and it won't be one of your prescribed lanes that you might have booked or something like that for the week. But we're doing a thing now, so we got a few schools in there where they use a half court and they can do all their drills in the half court, but they got 2 shooting lanes to the side so the kids can get shots up, working their film. I like the thing I like about the Dr. Dish shooting machines is you've got data that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And they got an app and they can track whether they're getting any better, and they actually you think you're good until you actually see the percentage you shoot. And I think that's the part where I really like that they get data and it's quantifiable, and you can actually, and even for some of the teachers that got their school kids coming in, now it gives them some reasons to say, hey, I need you to work on this.
Did you happen to see the AI machines that the Warriors are playing around with, like Steph? Like, they literally have these little things on wheels. I don't even know what to call them, with a little basket. So no Dr. Dish. Steph shooting. These things, they capture the ball. They're fast enough to go, and then they come back and pass it.
That's interesting, Steve.
Yeah, I know. But this is, you don't put a big Dr. Dish. You just, unbelievable. So this is where.
So do you guys have like set workouts? Like
So we have some workouts like online. There's some workouts that coaches do. So Simo does some. Uche does some. Who's playing at Brisbane in NBL1 this year? Uche. Yeah. So came up from
South Australia. I just met him on Thursday.
Yeah.
Where's he playing at?
BBI.
Okay.
Brisbane Capitals.
In the NBL1 team.
2-man
for the Brewers.
Okay.
2, can he the Brewers?
Good old Brewers days, yeah.
Then the Metros, and then.
Hey, we talk a lot about the love of the game. I mean, you've got an unbelievable history. You through school, you go to college, you come back, you're committing yourself to coaching, which you're now coaching women's, and you build a facility that people can train in. You got to love the game to do shit like this.
Yeah. I don't know whether you're kind of crazy. I think like at times I think you kind of like I built it like when we built this, and you're in there, and so Troy Hines, who is our ops manager, is in there with us on it, and 3 of us are standing there, and there's I look at him and I'm like, well, we're either it's gonna work, or I'm gonna become a really good shooter. Because like they're the only 2 options right here. Because
you build it, and
So
you
how
will
long's
come.
it been open now?
We opened right before Christmas, and then we closed for Christmas, and then we opened back up in January and ran some stuff for not very long. We're like
months off.
It's brand new. Look, it's been. We've gained a little bit of momentum now, and
So just for everyone out there, it's called Basketball HQ. I'm on the website here. It's a really good website you got, and it's got the name of the coaches that are there, the costs if you want to do individual training, and what I love about it, talking to you, Dwight, is that the coaches that you've assembled here. I had a quick look at what their pedigree is. You can see you've got people that actually know what they're doing.
So how are you going about promoting it and marketing it?
Well,
because we need help with that. With our podcast.
Well, I can tell you that I'm too old for that. So what you do is you hire someone younger.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you say, how do we do that? And they go, you need to like social media and all this and all that. And you need to promote stuff, and you need to get sponsored, and you need to sponsor that one that you did. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, thanks. But we're doing it through pretty much Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you go to the schools and meet with the headmasters?
Yeah, so we've been meeting with heads of sport. So we've slowly been working through our local area, and that's been good. And just letting them know what it is. Some of them you get we're okay, we're pretty good, and then you walk away and you go, no, you're not. But that's fine, But the schools that realise what it is and the benefit to it, that's been good.
Tingalpa's, that's a good location as well.
And during the day, obviously,
there's time.
Well, other than we got retired guys in there shooting during the day and that, but other than them, it's pretty quiet during the day. So the schools taking up their spots during the day has been good. Makes sense for us and for them. And again, the kids are getting a different experience.
Yep.
If then a lot of the time, and like at schools, it's very, very unusual to get a passionate or skilled basketball coach who's the teacher. It's normally a teacher who's decided to take on basketball because there's no basketball coach. That has changed a lot of late because of the popularity of basketball, but I know that when we went through school, which was a long time ago, but there was only a few schools with basketball programs, and all the other schools, you'd show up to play them, and they're trying to scratch together 9 uniforms that are the same color.
This is again, my hat goes off to Lindsey Gaze, because when he was the general manager Victorian basketball.
Yeah.
He was on, and we're not like Brisbane City Council, where it's the biggest city council in all of Australia. He was hitting each and every city about the importance of having a basketball, not a multi-purpose, but it's basketball. Now, if you want to hire that out for foosball or volleyball, but it's basketball.
Yeah.
And you can't go any suburb where there's not a 6-court, 8-court, 12-court. So I and even now, Al West, can I drop a name?
Yeah,
Alan Westover
pretty
says
good at it.
there's not enough venues.
No.
And he's playing at the Knox, there at the State Sports Center. It's 20 courts filled, right? And it's obviously during the day that it's going to, after school, after work, you can get them in. But I wish, and
I mean,
it's
some
the
of these
third time
schools,
this.
I mean, as you know, the terraces, the grammars, etc. The number of teams.
Oh yeah, there's no room. Like, I mean, we're the same at our school.
They could have more teams.
We got
which is-
47 teams playing every week. Like, where do you how do you have 47 teams train? You end up having half courts. You put 4 courts onto a full court and have them training in a court.
This is Christian Outreach College.
Yeah, City Point now.
City Point.
Yeah,
Where is it located?
Mansfield. Oh, I think they rezoned it to Carindale.
Right on the edge of Carindale.
But how's their facilities?
Yeah, we got a good 2-court facility. No, it's a multi-purpose floor, but it's it's the sprung one. Well, it's the sprung one, so it's got 10. So if you actually push on it, it's not like running around on vinyl.
Okay.
So we got to. Yeah, I mean we
those floors are poured.
We take and then they paint over the top of it.
Pepperdine campus.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever played anything like that.
But I like we've got 2 courts, but I mean we take 4 more.
Right.
But I mean I think every school would. Every I mean, I'm in the Redlands, so I live in Victoria Point. There is with no indoor sports facility.
No.
So a Logan Metro or a whatever or a Kunobi or in sports. There is no indoor sports facility in the Redlands.
Well,
I'm not sure how that
there used to be a court down there years ago.
Well, there's obviously the PCYC.
Yeah.
And then there was the 2 courts at the YMCA.
Yes.
Which they'd be the ones you probably remember, which they've turned into gymnastics.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, again, 2 venues that are 1,000 years old.
So when we went down and played QSL2 at...
You would have played at the PCYC.
No, we played at a high school.
Oh, you would have played at the new venue at Cleveland, the Berg Office Centre. Berg. I don't know who it is. I don't know what they're going.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It had seating on one. It looked like a theater.
Oh, it's really nice. Like that would be the premium school. But there's a few schools that have got Rochdale High have got a really nice 2-court facility there now. Timber floors,
right?
All FIBA approved.
Nice.
That is a Rochdale High's facility is really nice.
That'll be used then during the Olympics.
But I mean, I don't know where else we're going to use.
It's a conversation we have all the time. Facilities, and Queensland basketball need to be leading that way and helping the associations.
You would
talk to the ministers, and we've got the best opportunity we've ever had with the 2032 Olympics. Sadly, though, they've chosen Boondall as the main venue for the Olympic Games. So there's going to be games, I think, in Cairns. There's going to be games on the Gold Coast. No games on the Sunny Coast, which I don't understand. And supposedly Boondall's going to be the Olympic venue, which...
For basketball.
Yeah.
Volleyball.
No, for basketball.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they're going to refurbish it.
I went to Boondall for a game this year. I think I sat on the same seat as I sat on in the 90s.
Oh, really?
But I knew because the foam was... There was no foam left. I was sitting on a plastic seat. And I mean, I looked at like on TV, it looked okay, but I mean, the seat had faded to a new colour.
Are you in the past bullets? Group?
No, they don't accept me.
Why not?
I don't know.
You were a junior bullet.
Yeah, I suppose.
Only went in Derringers. You got to be. I'll speak to Steve Caitlin. You got to be in. Somebody with your basketball achievements and basketball love. We got to get you in because why? Well, Stolly actually played as a
Stolly
bullet.
played. Yeah.
He runs like an orangutan. Told him,
I think
Stolly,
he's-
you run like a
I think
chimp.
Stolly's still playing, to be honest. I think he still gets up and down.
Stolly would still play NBL1 if he could. Like he loves
Good
it.
enough,
Like
yeah.
he loves it. Yeah,
He's
loves
great.
It. Yeah.
He's great to the show. All right, now, are we tying a bow in
Yeah, I
this?
think it's time.
Oh, mate, thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
a good man to
Appreciate
come along.
it.
I
Yeah,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
You know
Yeah,
how
thank
much
you.
I admire you as a coach and a human being. Who was it that gave you the name Dwight Hicks and his hot licks?
Yeah, you know who it was.
It was me.
Yeah, it was you. You and Almighty. That's
Almighty
yeah.
Dwighty.
Yeah. You could walk into a stadium and if BP was there, Bruce be yelling it across, Coach be yelling it across. It's like, come on,
Come on, Bruce.
come on.
Embarrass the shit out of me. Man. But anyway, I want to wish you the best of luck. You're
And
a coach that
Basketball
I
HQ,
admire.
let's get people down there to have
Absolutely,
it. And
get into
I'm
it.
keen to come over and have
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll
And
do it.
I mean, even Steve. I had Steve. I think you came. I think after my 2 years with you, the year I was going to college, you started coaching Junior Bullets, didn't you? Or you were at BBI
It was
as
Trevor
well?
Gleason, wasn't it?
I never. I mean, I was always involved. I was junior development at the Bullets, and I had Lyndon and
Late 90s.
yeah, I was definitely involved in
yeah.
it. Never like the head coach of it, but I was always
Yeah,
involved.
I think you were involved in that group that year
Yeah,
that I
totally.
went to college and I was away. So yeah.
Jeremenko and
Troy J was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good guys. I mean,
Troy boy.
they don't have anything like that anymore,
No.
which is a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. It was a good. It was good for those guys that wanted to push on.
Yeah.
And I think Dinger was that coach. Rob Shibes was there. Like there's been some pretty good people involved. Mick as manager. Like there was back in the day. There was some pretty cool people. But yeah, hey, appreciate you
But
guys.
we're
Thank
going to
you.
get on to Steve Caitlin. He's an ex. Come on, man. He's a past bullet.
What?
Hey, here. Dwighty, almighty Dwighty. Dwight Hicks and his hot licks is a past bullet. So can you leave that up to me, man?
That's wherever it sits.
Because I only go to one game a year. It's usually when Sydney play. I'm going to drop a name, my friend Boy Gorge. So it's all
Boy
on.
Gorge.
But thank you so much. Best of luck to the Wizards this year in NBL1 North. You're a coach that if we ever do get the WNBL team, that I'm hoping that you are at the helm because you do a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All
Appreciate
right.
you. Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, and that's it.
They're tied a boat.
Beep.
Thanks, mate.